Watch out, you're in the
I know, I felt it.
You're in the weeds! Alright, hello, and welcome to How I Spent the Apocalypse Painting the Freaking House Edition. Of course, we can never do anything simple.
No.
Like Tina Turner, we always have to do everything hard. Okay, so I'm pressure washing the house. You can tell where I pressure washed it and where I haven't at this point. And that window right there is the last, well, it's the last of the old wood frame windows that was in the house.
Right.
And that window was broken out when we moved in. In fact, it was cardboard for a couple of months till I decided to put a window in it. And there's a whole story about that window, but it wound up being plexi because of the whole story about the fucking window. Needless to say, you cannot cut tempered glass. That's all.
I'm not laughing, I'm not.
Okay, but she did. Okay, so these are the same windows we talked about before because I put one in the new milk barn. Now I'm wishing I had kept the one I put in the milk barn for this project because this is not as neat a window. It doesn't have the small panes which would match the rest of the house. But at this point, we just spent a fortune on that freaking roof. We're now going to have to turn around and spend a small fortune just on paint for me to do all the work.
Right.
We can't afford on top of that to spend anywhere from $150 to $200 for a window. If this one won't work, I'm going to have to go to Habitat for Humanity. But that's where this one came from. Frank and Jules bought this at the bought a whole stack of these at Habitat for Humanity for a project they wanted to do that they wound up not doing.
Right.
Okay, so the first thing I need to do is check it to see if it's even going to open. Now, why were they so cheap and why were they... Because sometimes they overbuy for the houses they're building. Sometimes people donate them. Contractors will donate them. This particular one has had the outside scored off. The other ones didn't, of course.
Of course.
So I'm going to have to basically glue this one in place, and I'm sure there's mounting screws. Okay, so the first thing I have to do is take the dirty ass screen off, which the screen looks like it's in really good shape, so that's good news. Okay, have I just had them in the dog yard? No. I had them stacked behind windows. I had these good ones were stacked behind old windows that weren't in such good shape, and they were stacked behind a piece of steel roofing, which I forgot I had. There, look at there. There's a whole package of screws and rivets.
Wow.
Pop rivets and screws for installing the window. Still in there. Now, if this had just been in the open, that would not still be there. That bag would have rotted. Okay, so there's the tag.
Yeah.
Energy efficient. That's what I thought. These are gas-filled thermal pane glass. There are two pieces of it. The whole work. Okay, so step one. Let's see if the crank works.
Right.
Okay. You can see the rubber cap is still on the crank to keep it from getting messed up in shipping. And I'll put that back on when I get done. This is one of the reasons these windows were there. We only had 2 cranks for all the windows we have. And there are 2, 3, 4, there were 5 of them. And there's only 2 cranks. So that's part of it. So the first thing we have to do, unlock the window and see if it still opens. And it does. And there's a little rust on the armature, but it's not bad. Pretty sure I can clean this up with the pressure washer, and we will have a really good window.
The only problem is mounting it because they cut that flange off.
Yeah, they cut the flange out, but there are mounting holes right here.
Right on the inside.
Here, and here. So it's going to be an easy install.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, and this, of course, cranks out.
Right.
So that's a nice thing. It doesn't come into the room. It cranks out. The screen goes on the inside. It's going to be... Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so you're seeing it in all its filthy glory.
Right.
And in a few minutes, you'll see it, what it looks like clean, if I don't break it cleaning it. You know how that goes. There's always Hope springs eternal, right? Okay. And like I said, we only have 2 of these. One of them's on the window in the milk room. This is the one that came from the barn.
Right.
So I'm going to go and try to find some of these at the hardware store.
Right.
So we have at least 3, because I don't need for all the windows in that barn, because I can do what I've been doing for years. But we kind of need one
In the
this
bathroom.
barn, that barn, and for sure in the bathroom.
Right.
So this one is for sure staying with this window. And now I'm going to put that cap back on. Where the fuck I put it? There it is. And then
It's bright red.
there
It's
it
right
is.
there. Yeah.
It's bright red. That doesn't mean shit.
I know,
I'm
I
going to put
know.
it back on so that in all the build and stuff, for the reason that it's there in the first place, so that the threads don't get screwed up.
Right.
Okay. And now it's time to start.
And I'll be back because that'll be noisy.
It's super noisy.
Yeah, I'll be back. Okay.
Okay, so it's filthy. But it seems to be coming clean pretty good, but I had to open it in order to clean it the rest of the way because of all the dirt in the truck. Okay, so what I'm doing is, show her on this other side. Okay, where you can see some of this is really badly stained from the dirt. Okay, well where it's going to show, I'm cleaning it. I've got just a regular, this one happens to be Clorox, but any kind of cleaner with bleach. My wife buys name brands, I do not. Yeah,
Oh, during the pandemic, I was buying what I could get.
yeah. But anyway, so I'm just gonna, what I'm doing is you can see that Clint takes that 50 years of dirt
Yeah.
right off of there. And then it's just pressure washing, pressure washing, pressure washing, pressure
Yeah.
washing.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of you are going, well, why didn't you store that in that building you have that you store things in? Well, first off, you're forgetting when I bought this window, when Jules and Frank gifted me these windows, when I got these windows, I should have said instead of bought. When I got these windows, I didn't have that building.
Nope.
Okay, so this was the best thing I could do. Because, as you might have guessed, my shop, before I had the other shop buildings, was pretty stuffed full. Not enough room to add a bunch of stuff like that. And a lot of this stuff, when you get it, you don't know whether you're going to use it or not. But, okay, so the other thing was, if you remember correctly, before we built that tree house and Myers tree house, that freaking building was stuffed full of shit. You couldn't have got one more window in there.
Exactly.
So there wasn't room for it.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off so I can actually hold
because
that.
She's got to hold it now. So as you can see, this now looks like a new window.
Yes, it does.
And it's a really good thermopane glass window. So what's the big lesson? The big lesson is, yes, it sat and got that dirty in Jules and Frank's junk pile and then moved to our junk pile. This thing has probably been in either their junk pile or our junk pile for close to 20 years.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at a piece of junk that somebody says, do you want that? And you look at it and you go, oh, that's not any good. Think about what it would look like if you cleaned it. And no, you don't have to have a pressure washer.
Yep.
I could have just taken a hose and hosed off the big pieces and then scrubbed at it with a scrub brush and had the same results.
Yep.
In fact, I did scrub part of it. You saw me with the toothbrush and some Clorox cleaner. So that's what you have to, that's your big lesson for today is that still good? And the answer is usually yes.
Usually
it's still
yes.
good.
Just needs cleaning.
It just needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, so, yeah. Free window instead of $200 window.
Yep.
And I could probably get one at Habitat for 50, 60 bucks.
Right.
But that's 50, 60 bucks.
Yep. Towards paint.
Yeah. There you go. That's where I'm going to put it right there to dry out on that piece of... Okay, and there's that old piece of plastic shit that your mom threw away.
Yeah, because it
I'm going
was...
to put the window on that so that it can drain.
And not hurt anything else.
And not hurt anything else and be fairly safe, because the last thing I want to do once I start building is break the window that I'm specifically building a hole for.
Yes. No, we've never done that.
I have on that window
I know.
twice.
Yes.
Twice.
Yes. It was not a good day.
No.
So, do you want to end the video or do you want to keep adding to it as we do
No,
more?
we're good. We're good.
Okay.
I've got to go get all the pieces to put my scaffolding together because I've got to move my scaffolding underneath that window. I've got to go inside and take shit apart. I have to do measurements.
Yay!
My favorite thing, because we all know measuring's for socks.
Yes, okay. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so we will, though, show you when she starts doing the window.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Goodbye!